Chest slap me. Like that. Go on. Hard as you can. Oh.
Welcome everyone to a brand new episode of Retro Wrestle Chat, episode number 30 here on Brian's Action Figure Reviews. Here is Rich, and here is Tubbs, here again for the 30th time. Is that right? Yeah. Anyway, This week's match, Tubbs, tell us all about it.
Well, this week's one is Will Ospreay versus Ricochet in the Super Juniors in 2016 New Japan Pro Wrestling. This is basically, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the second to last match, I think, before they went and did like their series, before they broke up and kind of went their separate ways. But this was kind of like after a long series of matches of like against each other, teaming together, and so on and so forth. So this was kind of the one that I kind of rested on because this one really kind of just, I was going, oh, okay, I'll go with this match. But yeah, as far as fucking matches in history go, I just fucking really dug the shit out of this match and just really wanted to fucking pick it. But yeah, so like for our fucking 30th episode, I thought it was fucking splendid that we go full fucking throttle into something that's fucking amazing, kids. You know? Oh, I'm even stuttering because I'm fucking excited. 30 weeks, kids. That's 30 fucking weeks. That's over fucking half a year. We are railing on this motherfucker, like.
And don't do drugs, kids.
Yes, and don't get up at 7:30 in the morning and on a Sunday and drink fuck loads of coffee because, you know, this shit happens.
So my initial thoughts on the match. This match absolutely screamed bloody murder mid-card.
But, okay, it's been screamed bloody murder mid-card, but was it a good match?
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to get into. I think the one thing that this match benefited from and kind of took away from at the same time was the lack of commentary. It was good to hear the audience, and it was really fucking strange to hear Japanese audience shout, "This is awesome," as well.
Yes. Yeah.
But on the downside, I'm so fucking sick of Will Ospreay cursing every time he hits a fucking move.
Oh, he's the honest about it.
Oh, fuck off, whatever.
As you were saying, this goes back to the point you were making about the lack of commentary. I found, because normally in a match you have commentary that kind of pulls you through the match. It's not very often you hear that kind of shit come out of the wrestlers in the ring. It's not a thing you'd often hear. And I swear, man, I can't even lie. Every time it happened, I fucking burst out laughing. I thought it was fucking hilarious, man. It was just a different take on things. I was going, oh man, and the fact that it was your motherfucker prick, it was all this kind of shit, you know. I just thought it was fucking hilarious. Like,
I don't know, it just seemed unnatural to me. I didn't believe it or something. It just seemed so put on and so fucking pantomime villain or something. What's your thoughts?
This is kind of no offense to you boys, but this kind of shows you the lack of New Japan that you boys do watch, because these kind of matches happen a lot. So like to me, like the non-commentary, like the kind of the small, it coming through like the side of the crowd kind of thing. This is shit that I was used to seeing. So like not having the commentary, hearing the crowd chanting kind of thing, and hearing like the overreaction of like the swearing and stuff was something I was so fucking used to. But Will Ospreay was horrendous at fucking selling during this match. Like, I was putting out there, right? I'm making a statement tonight. It's gonna shock the system, especially Fat Man Tubbs over there. Sorry, Small Man Tubbs.
Not one bit, my friend. Not one bit. You go. You take your.
This is gonna shock you. This statement I'm going to make right now. I hate Ospreay more than Michaels.
Can I just put one more thing on there? That's not shocking me in any way, because you told me that at the end before the video ended last week, because I knew you weren't going to like this match a week
just
previous.
The record, like, I'm not taking away his technique and skills. Like, this dude, I think he'd only been in 5 years of wrestling at this point. Just for the record, he's only been 5 years wrestling, not independent or anything. 5 years. It was literally one of the matches we reviewed, the AJ Joe and the Danielson match, that inspired him to fucking wrestle. So when you look at when that match came out, he hasn't had that much time, but like his selling was fucking horrendous. Like, as much as I say I'm used to like, this cursing and being like, fucking hell, mate. Like, I was like how strong was his English? Like, his
Yeah.
accent.
It was a thick accent. It really was like.
There was so much in this match that, like, it just makes. I get why fucking folk will enjoy this, but there's so much in this match I just fucking struggle to enjoy. So many botches in this match, but it's understandable for the way that these guys are wrestling to where all these mistakes happened, kind of thing. Like, how many fucking flips do you need to do just to do a kick?
But look, come here. It's enough. Like, you watch wrestling, Rich, and there's always different styles. It's kind of why they're all broken up into certain styles: big man, powerhouse, high flyer. But these are the matches that tend to be the spectacle of their sequence based matches. Like, because I was even watching this match, right, and I was even saying, do you know what we normally do? Our best spots. I don't think you could pick a best spot on this, because in this match there was 14 entire sequences. Like, this match was 95% sequence, which, strangely, I fucking love. I thought, like, 14, and then I go back to what you were saying about batches. Like, if you can put in 14 sequences of solid flips and kicks and all this crazy shit, right? And not really botch as much, because I've seen matches with less sequences with way more botches. It's just, it blew my mind to see the shit these guys were doing in this match, and not like those sequences could have went wrong, severely wrong. I mean, did they connect on one or two? Maybe not. Or, do you know what I mean? There's a few things they didn't connect on fully, but my God, some of the shit they did in there blew my mind. Like, there was just things I've seen already that were done differently.
You could tell this match was clearly fucking rehearsed several times. Like, no way that you do that fucking flips off the rope into a fucking somersault into Superman pose.
Yeah. That was cringy as fuck.
I mean, look, it might have been cringe. Instantly. It might have had the cringe finish when the two of them landed like dead center of the ring and looked at each other with the pose. But, geez, man, the athleticism to be able to pull that timing off and be able to flow like these two guys flow is remarkable.
Yes. Oh, on the sake of Tubbs' choice this week, I'll use his term. This was predetermined match, right?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, but like, at least when you're watching wrestling, like, you know that quite a lot of it is controlled on the. It's kind of, you've got your start, middle, and end, but everything in between all that is happening, is getting made up. During the match, but there was too much of this. I was like, this is all being fucking rehearsed. This is all being choreographed beforehand. Like, this is the dance moves for 20 minutes. This is what we're going to do, kind of thing. It was all, to me, it was just too polished and rehearsed. That even though there was the mistakes that were made, it just kind of, like, I don't know, man. Like, too many extra flips. Fucking look like, I'm going to kick you, so I'm going to do a forward roll, the kick. Nah, man, just fucking use the speed and fucking kick them. You know, like, it just, for me personally, it should go away. And this has been my problem with these two wrestlers. Is the stuff they can do is fantastic, but when you put two of them in the fucking ring together, you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, man. What did Vader say? Was it a gymnastic match?
Yeah. Like, it reminds me a little bit of last week, where the two guys were trying to out-slap and out-fucking headbutt each other or whatever. Whereas this week it was kind of similar. They're just kind of trying to out-flip each other and outdo each other. Like, I don't know. I enjoyed the match in general. I was sports entertained. I wasn't wrestling entertained, though. It seemed like a very WWE match as well.
Oh, no, dude. I mean, look, I agree with most of what you're saying in sections and stuff, but the way I would look at that is like, I look at, like you were saying about last week's match. Last week's match for me was very much these two guys just slapping and hitting each other. There was no substance. There was no real substance to what we were watching. It was just this 17-minute match of these guys, you know, I'm a harder bastard than you. At least this match had substance. These guys were trying to out-wrestle each other, out. They kind of, because, as I said, and Rich knows, because he knows New Japan, they had come through a massive series of matches. So when it goes back to, like, and I know I'm only going back to when I wrestled, we never rehearsed the matches, but me and my mate Phil, we would just know. Like, if I went for Hurricane Rana, he knew he was going to go for it, but he knew the setup for our next move. Never for it. You just call it on the fly. And it seems like these guys know each other so well that these moves were called. And if like maybe now they did rehearse the sequence with the backflips into the poses and stuff, certain things, but other things I don't think so. I think a lot of these sequences into like the Death Valley driver on the apron that was like reversed into a poison rana. I think that was called on the fly. Like when they were picking each other up, they were like powerbomb Hurricane Rana. They just call it. Because I mean, and then just going back to like when I used to do it, that's how we did it. Like we just throw a word out, and then the person knew, because you've wrestled them so much that you already knew the time, and you knew how what way this person does a move, what way they take a move, things like that. So I think that's how it does. But then again, I wasn't there. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't in this. They could have sat in that ring and rehearsed the shit out of this for the whole fucking day. But I just think that's how wrestlers work it in independence. It's very much call on the fly from what I know.
So let's get into moments. What would be your worst moment of the match? Tubbs, it seems you're on.
I mean, look, to be fair, look, I'm not. I think it's just the very beginning where they were doing the first sequence. It looked like they were just trying to feel each other out, so it didn't really go as smooth as I've seen them do it in other matches. Like Ospreay didn't really kind of get up as where he normally would, and he kind of did a thing off his head where he rolled forward. And I'll go to what Rich was saying as well. Even though it made me laugh hysterically through the match, I think Ospreay being like crazy vocal, like got a bit played out as the match went on. But for overall, I mean, like I was entertained to the highest point in this match. I really was. Do you know what I mean? And as I said, we watch these matches, and that's what's supposed to happen. You're either entertained or you're not. This match, as I said, last week's match was 22 minutes. 17 minutes with entrances, and I found myself getting bored like horrendously throughout it. This one I found was the same thing, 22 minutes, 17, 18 minutes with entrances, and I was entertained from start to finish. So it's just matches. It's just based on the matches and how it entertains the person, I think. So yeah, I've only got one or two, as I said. I mean, yeah, I don't really have any bad points for this one.
You have no worst moments at all.
No, I mean, like the sequences at the very start of the sequence, it didn't connect with me because I don't think it flowed correctly. Ospreay being a bit fucking kind of mouthy, as I said, gave me a fucking chuckle. I did laugh my ass off when it happened, but I did find it became overkill after a while. He kept it up. I did spot one fucking word call that, you know, you see Botchamania, the whole sequence section on that show is like, you know, you talk too much. Was when Will Ospreay was going to run at the ropes, and he says, "Grab my tights," and Ricochet grabbed his tights and pulled them back in. I was like, I heard every word of that, man. There's a pure John Cena moment, like.
For me, but, I have two. The chops. They started out well, but eventually, I don't know, was it Ricochet or Ospreay? It was like eventually they got so tired they were just literally rubbing hands off each other's chest at one point. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, just do something different, man, if you're getting tired. Like, and the one thing that stood out to me, because I watched the finish about 4 times, the lead up to the finish, the kick, where he clearly missed Ricochet's head, and Ricochet still sold it like a boss. That fucking, was it a spin kick or something? And Ricochet going, like that.
Yeah. And I think it might have been just a super kick.
No, it was like a spin kick onto the ground kind of thing.
Oh, no, yes. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Actually, yeah, he missed him on that one. He didn't actually hit him with that one at all. He just...
Well, like, I'll come to my best moments for the rest of that, because I watched it 3 times. That kick, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. It looked so fucking bad, and then the finish was amazing. Like, but you know, what's your worst moments, Rich?
Will Ospreay.
Well, come on, boys. You cannot defend the double superhero Superman land.
It was cringe, but it was part of the fun.
You can't defend that shit. All I'm saying is, you got a non-wrestling fan next to you, and that's on, and that happens. Man, you're cringing. Brian's face reaction right there. He's thinking about it, and he's like, "Oh man, 100%. Yeah, I know what this is on."
I'm thinking about the times Ricochet has done that in WWE as well, though.
Yeah, it's bad if you see him doing his intro fucking during the match kind of thing. Like, so there was that. There was one where it was Ricochet had fucking Ospreay in the corner. He went to whip him into the other corner, reversed. Then I think ended up being like Ricochet into the corner. Ricochet puts fucking Ospreay back into the corner. he drops down. Ricochet then fucking goes through the rope to like almost do like a 619 kind of thing.
Yes.
But like when Ospreay like would have his back of his head next to turnbuckle, meant to kick the back of his head, but correct me if I'm wrong, does he not just hit the turnbuckle? And then then Ospreay rolls forward going like, my head. And I'm like, he hits the turnbuckle, man. Like he's nowhere fucking near you. So there's that as well. The chops, yes, 100% right. It was towards the end when they're chopping each other, and you see Ospreay be like, Ospreay's like, oh fuck it. So Ricochet's keep going. It's just like that. It's like, wait, are you rubbing his chest?
Yeah.
It's like when you try to get that stain out that glass mirror, you're like, oh, put some elbow grease in. That's what it was, man. Or like you're parking a car. You know, it got like that was quite bad. Like I said earlier on, from some of the things they're doing, look like when you're like trying to be Tony Hawk's in a wrestling match and doing like 900 flips and all this shit, right? Like, yeah, you're going to fucking miss that kick or miss that punch. But what infuriates me, man, is like you want to do like some like flip into a kick, like say like a flip into a super kick kind of thing. You just be easier just fucking doing a kick. It's gonna be more. It's gonna hurt more because like I think what was it? Ricochet. He did like what's the one? He's against a turnbuckle, and then he does like a forward roll, and is it just like a smash or something? And he jumps up and smashes you. And in my head, I'm like, you'd have been better just running from the turnbuckle than just jump up your full force because you're slowing yourself down doing a forward roll. Like it was just shit like that. I was like, because I was all rolled and flipped out by this point. I was just like, man, you're just not. It was just too many of those moments where it just kind of irritated me. And then obviously you got the bloody hell, mate. Fucking hell, mate. Take
that motherfucker.
But like, it was so funny. There was one where he's like, fucking hell, mate. And I think Ricochet did like a little fucking arm twist, and he goes, ah! And the crowd fucking pissed himself laughing.
They set up for he bent his arms back and he had him on his back, but then he laid him up kind of the upside down guillotine on his knee, remember? He just kind of like threw him off.
Some of these submissions were shit. Some of these submissions, see when you try to look at let's face the fact, boys. Like, if I put you in a crossface, it ain't gonna hurt you. Your neck already bends back anyway. If I fucking put you in a figure four leg drop, look, it's not gonna hurt, right? Some of these submission moves looked fucking like awesome, but you're sitting there being like, all you're doing is resting them on you. So to me, I was see when you think of like how the body works and how the body moves and bends, you're like, okay, this looks cool for a kid to watch. But realistically, if I put anyone in it, they're not going to be hurt, and they're just going to be like, dude, can you just make sure you don't slip? Like, I could go on and complain about this match, but I'm not taking away. I'm not saying these guys are shit, by the way. I'm just saying when you have like two wrestlers that are so much the fucking same, it's just too much. You know, for me personally, it was generally, it'd be like, doing aside, it'd be like fucking putting like, rarely when you take two wrestlers who are quite similar can pull off a match together. Someone like, when you look like, say, two technical guys, so if you put like technically Bret Hart and Owen Hart, who are two good technical wrestlers, very rarely these kind of matches fucking work. I'm not just picking that match because it was Bret Hart, but I'm just saying that like that is just an example of like, it's like if you when you go back to like, old wrestling, if you put like two big dudes, I can see Tubbs
warming up like.
No, I'm actually listening to Rich Sherman.
It's like also once again, this is my opinion. I think when you get, say for example, like if you were to put like two big wrestlers, say for example, if we got Strowman and Big Show, you know that match isn't going to be that fucking great. It's just two big dudes. What can I ram you into? How hard can I slam you? Kind of thing. But this was the version for Ricochet and Ospreay. It was just like who can do the more like flamboyant flips, in-time move and stuff. It just really fucking like I was sick and tired of it.
What's your good moments, so Rich?
Man, something it was like not maybe the moves, but it's how some of the moves were set up into each other, or some of the reversals. Like once again, doing the opposite, I kind of maybe you can say I contradict myself, but then only these guys were going to be capable of doing these reversals off each other and stuff, which was great. Like, once again, you couldn't get a big fucking dude coming in and doing a reversal from some of the shit they were getting put into. So, like, I can't really think of moments because it happened a good few times in this match. But those were the great moments of seeing, like, the reversals and stuff. They were good. The chops and that started off great because they were fucking, you heard them. Like, you fucking heard those kicks. I think it was it Ricochet when he fucking kicked Ospreay in the back of the shoulder blades? And I was like, oof, that cunt's going to be going for a fucking massage tonight. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to sit in an ice bath because that's going to fucking hurt. Like, going for that, those were some fucking great moves. That was Rich's fucking brutal moment of the week. Like, those, some of those kicks kind of thing, they were fucking savage as fuck.
Tubbs, favorite moment?
Well, as I said to you a while ago, this match had like 14 like incredible sequences throughout the 22-minute runtime, like, you know. But there was so many. Like, one of my favorite ones to stand out was the Death Valley Driver on the apron that was reversed into the Poison Rana. I did love that. I loved the as corny as it is, I love that whole the double moonsault flip and then the kick reversals and then the two of them kicked each other. I thought that was really good. This was fucking. There was one there where I think the finish was pretty good. I loved the flips over the top rope. I thought the two sequences leading into like Ricochet's, like, because it's the way he steps on the bottom rope inside and does the corkscrew flip over, and then Ospreay followed it up with his own version. But it was getting up
there for a second. Like, that just reminded me. The flips to the outside. I couldn't take him seriously when I saw the three guys lining up to catch him behind him. Did you spot that?
Oh no, yeah, they were definitely there. You could see them coming into sequence when the wide shot was kind of building for the dive, like, you know. But it wasn't even that. It was like, you know, when they were on the ground, and it just made me laugh, lads. I loved it so much because it just made me giggle. It was, you know, when they were both laid out on the floor on the outside and the ref was doing the 20 count, and Ospreay's trying to like struggle to get up for the count, but he's like tearing out of your man, the young fella on the ground, and I was looking at the young fella's face, and he kept looking at Ospreay like it was. I'd say in his head he was like, "Man, get the fuck off me!" Like, you know what I mean? And the two of them just dove in. And it wasn't even the fight of them getting back in. It was the young fella on the ground I was watching, going like, he looks like he wants to kill him because he's tearing out of him on the floor. There was just, as I said, this match had 14 sequences that I really fucking dug. Do you know what I mean? If it's, as I said, as over the top as they might have been, and as fucking insane as the presence of these sections might have been in the match, like there was, like, I'm trying to pick parts like, the sunset flip over the top rope that Will Ospreay did to Ricochet came out of a sequence. It was the end of a sequence, but I remember that section of it. I remember the double moonsault into the double kick. What does he call his finishing move? Ospreay. It's a springboard cutter, like, but what does he call it?
I don't know.
So in the comments, kids, if you know. I just thought the way Ricochet sold the impact of that move was fucking unreal. Like, he arrowed himself into the ground in that one. Fucking match was fucking fantastic in my eyes. You know, I really did like it. I get what Rich is saying about the styles clash. I get what Rich is saying about that, is because, you know what I mean, it is hard when you put two guys that are on have the same styles to work, because normally it works. They say it works better anyway when you have a big man and a high flyer. Do you know what I mean? Because, you know, a high flyer can sell for the big guy more, and there's more powerhouse moves to match the high flying. You've seen it so many times with like Undertaker and Rey Mysterio, things like that. You know, it's just an example that popped in my head there. But you know what I mean? But every now and again you see these two. And I mean, look, I know how good these guys are. They might not be people's favorite wrestlers, but I watch these guys' styles. I see the things these two can do. And I'm gonna piss off Rich here, but I genuinely think Will Ospreay, without the fucking "I mate" and the fucking stupid facial expressions, I think ability in the ring, he is as good, if not on the same level as Omega. I genuinely believe that.
I'm a huge, like, massive fucking, like,
Omega. No, but I only look at the match that's
a really good Omega match.
But I look at the list we have, and the Omega Okada match sits on top of it. This match entertained me on the same level as that match, because I remember watching that Omega Okada match, and same thing. and that was an hour long. But I was entertained the entire way through because it was spot after spot. It was impact fucking after impact. This kind of had that same feeling for me. I genuinely had that. I was watching it. Like, look, it hasn't got the big lights and the bravado and the pageantry as a WrestleMania or a Wrestle Kingdom does, because look, that does help a match, man. You know, when stuff looks bigger, it on the eyeballs you take more in. But I just felt, in essence, of what I watched when I watched this this is just my opinion. Like, when I watched it, I did feel that entertained me as much as the last match that we watched, or not the last match, but that match with Okada and Omega. Because I think Ospreay, man, is like, I mean, he might not be oozing charisma from like a promo sound standpoint or anything, but in the ring, fucking guy is ridiculously good. And Ricochet's the same. It's such a shame to see Ricochet fall so far as he has under a WWE watch, because that fucking guy can do like fucking unbelievable stuff. Like, he's a fucking talent and a half. You know, he belongs in like a Ring of Honor or an AEW to really be able to showcase the stuff he's able to do. We saw it in NXT, and now he's on the main roster, and where is he? He's not even being used. You know, it's just a shame. We've said it about Nakamura, we've said it about Sami Zayn. You know, we see these guys that are actually genuinely fucking mid-card or not, but they're fucking beast workers. They're fucking entertaining to watch. They're really fucking good wrestlers, but they're not getting the chances to do it now because of the brands they went to.
So that's your moment of the match, so.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned a few things within. This was a 14 sequence, as to say, a predetermined dance show. It was like watching a fucking dance rehearsal, dance play, whatever you want to call it. It really was for me. But as much as, you know, I give out about, I say about wrestling and story, I felt these two guys did try and fucking, you know, tell the same story as last week, but they did it better, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
You know, they were trying to best each other. Do you know what I mean? Like last week's match, but this was just a bigger spectacle. It was more entertaining.
My moment of the week.
Sorry, before you continue, I literally forgot what section we were in this conversation.
Oh, I rambled. I
was trying to rein him in.
Best part. I was like, what's Tom's talking about again? Wait, are we recording? Are we chatting shit afterwards? I totally fucking zoned out. And I was like, forgot what the fuck where we were.
Okay, yeah. So, moment of the match for me was a lot of the rest of it kind of all melded into one for me after a while, because it was all so similar and stuff. The impact of a lot of it wore off because of so much of it, but the finish, that fucking cutter thing, whatever it was, I had to go back and watch it about 4 or 5 times. Because it was like he held himself in slow motion. It felt like in the air. And as you said, the way Ricochet sold it and the way he came down, it was fucking phenomenal, for lack of a better term. Yeah. I watched it a load of times again after that, like, just to see. Like, it was a combination of the two, like you said. Ricochet driving himself down as fast as he did, and the way he kind of just threw himself back into it off the rope. I thought it was one of the coolest finishes I'd seen in a long, long time. As for the rating, I'm going to go straight onto that.
Yeah.
I did enjoy it. I would probably watch it again. But I don't think it had any substance, if I'm honest. What I said at the start is exactly what I mean. It's something that you'd see in the middle of a WWE show. It didn't feel like there was any stakes or anything like that. I know they were going to fight again, because he asked for one more match or something, didn't he?
They went on to have, I think it was WCWP. It was an English show. It was done by Wrestle Talk. I think that was the next match where the top rope actually breaks, like 2.5 minutes into the match.
But overall, for me, I did enjoy it. There was a lot of fucking faults, obviously. But for me, I'll give it a 7.
Go on, Rich.
4.
5. I'll be honest about it, Rich. It's right in the middle. It's kind of like I was last week. Do you know what I mean? I was right in the middle of, like, you know, where I was with it. But yeah, man, I'm gonna give this a full 10. Do you know why, boys? Because I fucking came away from this thing really, really happy, and my balls are a bit aching. Do you know, I was going to go, oh, is that a problem with my balls, or is that like a fucking thing with, you know, the match? I don't know what it was. We'll explain that in next week's show.
Show.
I don't even know what the fuck I'm on about wrestling crowds, people, right now. But yeah, I enjoyed it, man. I give it a 10. It entertained me. I fucking thought these two were fucking fantastic in the ring. The things I didn't like were very small. I liked a lot more than I didn't like. And I was fucking very, very entertained by this. So, and you know, as I said, I just think these guys are phenomenal athletes. I just think they're fucking amazing fucking wrestlers. But do you know what I mean? It's just, you know, hopefully they fucking, I mean, as I said, for Ricochet now more, because I know Ospreay is kind of in and out of New Japan. He's doing his own thing and he's doing really well. But I really hope Ricochet fucking can kind of like pull himself back to some level of fucking kind of greediness again. Do you know what I mean?
For me, like, I know you don't like Ospreay, Rich, but I think he's much better of the two. I've seen him in person fighting Pete Dunne from WWE, and he was fucking awesome.
OTT?
What?
Is that OTT?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was an incredible match I've seen live, like, and for me, Ricochet might as well be called Blendy McBlendface, because I don't see anything in him other than a glorified stuntman. Put a mask on him, maybe he'll have some more character, just like he was in Lucha Underground.
Yeah, King Puma.
But, yeah, I can see why he flounders in WWE, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but come on, to be fair, Aleister Black is fucking kind of like sitting on his ass fucking like, you know, reading the magazine at the moment, and that guy's phenomenal. Well. You know, WWE, I'm gone to the stage, and you know me, lads, I'm a diehard WWE fan. I've been since I was a kid, but I'm even starting to realise that, like, I think, not everyone, but I think people like Ricochet, Aleister Black, Will Ospreay, even Kenny Omega, if he went to WWE, is kind of where they go to kind of, I don't know, like die. Oh, yeah. You've seen it happen with too many greats, man. Kevin Owens. I mean, I know Kevin Owens kind of goes up and down, do you know what I mean, dependent, but you see it with Nakamura, Cesaro, you see it with all these guys, man, and these are all fucking amazing athletes, man. These are all brilliant wrestlers. You see them in any other promotion, and they're doing phenomenal things. But when they go there, it is just the machine. I mean, NXT seems to manage them well, do you know? Hunter, Triple H seems to have a better finger on the pulse for indie talent when they come in to treat them a certain way, kind of, you know, like showcase what they do. But Vince definitely doesn't. You know, guys like this aren't in Vince's wheelhouse. Like, they're just not. And there's a reason that they just unless you fucking do something, the spark his interest and keep it there. Do you know what I mean? You're going to fucking keep going down further and further. And you saw it with Ricochet, man. Ricochet, when he came into NXT, man, the stuff he was doing with like Adam Cole and fucking Joe Gargano and all these guys, man, it was fucking unbelievable. And then he went to the main roster, and I don't even think it was a year. I think it was less than a year. He was jobbed out to Brock and never seen again, really. Well, he was, but, you know, not of any substance whatsoever. Like.
So for next week, we have a viewer's pick. What is it?
Will I go?
Go on.
Okay, next week's pick.
So you can have the mic.
Oh yeah. Welcome to Wrestle Chat. I'm joking.
Only I can pull that off.
No, you can't do that.
Next week's pick is a match that was actually suggested by one of our viewers, Martin O'Halloran, a few weeks ago. Lita versus Trish Stratus on Monday Night Raw. He was the main event match when they actually main evented the show. Yeah, so we're gonna move forward next week, and we're gonna review that match, and then Rich will come back with a classic for us, or a shit show match, because we know what Rich likes to do. He likes to balance and fuck with the.
I either go one way or the other.
Yeah, it's very much.
There is no middle ground, like.
Dependent on the weekly humor, I suppose. I'm gonna go for clowns or fucking 5-star matches.
It's still that mini clowns match.
There is. And believe it or not, when I was looking at matches for this week, I almost clicked on that one. I did not, but I almost did. But yeah, guys, how'd you feel? 30 fucking weeks, man. 30 fucking episodes. That's not bad.
Fucking good.
I'll give it up, man.
Fucking 30, Rich! It's fucking 30!
Anyway, guys, see you next week for 31. Oh. It's almost getting up close to my age now. That's scary.
I love you guys.
See you later.